everyone, welcome to my channel. This week I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight season 13, episode 6. In this episode, the couples are still on their honeymoon, so we catch up from where they left last week. Um, I'm just going to review the couples as I normally do, just separately, each couple, and then if there's anything else I feel I need to say, I'll say it at the end about all the couples. So we'll start off with Zach and Michaela. Zach and Michaela. Well, Zach is still isolating in Florida with everybody else, and Michaela's gone back to Houston because I sort of saw some comments that apparently she was offered the option of either going back or something. So she went back to Houston, and they're just hoping that they'll be able to catch up on the time they've lost while Zach's been isolating. They really didn't show us much apart from one or two clips of Zach when the other guys came to see him with their spouses just to check on him to make sure he was okay. And he sort of hinted that the previous night, I think Ryan and Johnny had come up to see him and given him some alcohol. He seems to be doing very well in his isolation, and I think he's just anxious because he kept bringing up Michaela's name. So hopefully, when they do catch up, they'll be able to make up for lost time. Although we've already seen previews of them fighting, so I hope it's going to be, something minor which they can just a minor speed bump and they can get over it. From there, we move on to Jose and Rachel. Jose and Rachel, for me, I'm still on the fence with them. I think there's a lot of issues there, and I think they are going to hit a very big speed bump because Rachel keeps going on about she doesn't want to be a kept woman, and Jose keeps talking about he wants to provide for her, he wants to do everything for her. So I think there are going to be a lot of issues, and I hope the experts will, unlike with the situation last season where they just left Chris and Paige to run amok, I hope they sort of step in early and they're able to sort of help them with whatever problems they're going to face. There's the issues with Rachel saying she wants to do everything 50-50. Jose sort of saying that there was issues, I think, with their budgeting in the sense that Jose was saying they should have, it sort of makes sense that they should have a joint account and then pay off all their bills. Once they've paid, then everybody can take whatever they want from there. And it makes sense in the sense that that way everybody sort of feels like they're participating, but Rachel doesn't want to because she feels, it will feel like he's giving her pocket money or something of that sort. And so it's very sad that I think she's not flexible or she's not reflective enough to sort of understand what he's trying to say. And I think he might be an asset, as he said, he's got a very good credit rating. I think he might be an asset in areas where she's lacking. And I think if she continues to harm on this, I want to be an independent woman, I don't want to be a kept woman, she's going to miss out on whatever Jose has to offer her or the things that she could gain from getting to know Jose. They seem to be getting along, they're always making out. They say they haven't yet been sexually intimate. Well, I don't know. We'll see. There's still something not right for me with this couple. Something is not clicking. Yes, they're making out. Yes, they appear to be going in the right direction, but something is not right with the two of them. And I think they need to have more honest conversations. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves in situations where other couples were last season, whereby they sort of bury their heads in the sand, and then at the end of the day, they filed for a divorce. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. From there, we'll move on to Brett and Ryan. Brett has sort of highlighted that there is some differences in their beliefs, in their views on life, and in their politics, and I think it's quite a big thing given how toxic the political environment is at the moment. So I think it's something that they really need to address, the two of them, and something that they need to reach an understanding before they go further down the line. Because when you fall in love with someone, it's going to become very toxic in how do you sort of separate yourself and how you feel about your partner's opinions. So I think it's something they really need to work on sooner rather than later. And I think they need an intermediator, so someone to sort of sit down and listen to both their sides and sort of help them reach a happy medium and then see if they are still willing to make their marriage work. But they seem to be getting along. Ryan was not as critical as he was last week about the flying. And Brett actually participated in something she was afraid of, but she did it because she wanted to show that she's open to learning new things and discovering new things about herself. They seem to be getting along okay. I think if it were not for their political opinions, I think they have a great chance of actually making it work because they both seem really keen to get married and they both really seem keen to stay married. So I hope things work out for them. Um, from them, we go on to Merla and Gail. Merla and Gail, they seemed to be doing better than they were last week. They seemed to be doing way better, in my opinion, than they were last week. Merla seemed more open. She seemed more to be participating more, and I don't know. I don't know. With Merla and Gail, initially my opinion was, you should have been matched with Rachel, but then seeing Rachel as the season's gone, yeah, maybe because he's more patient, Merla's the person for him. I think they had a speed bump whereby it's about Gil's dog and the fact that Merla doesn't like dog. I think this is why there's always an issue that if you don't like pets, maybe don't date someone with pets. Maybe this is something she should have brought up from the jump that please make sure you don't match me with someone with a pet because Gil was then offended when she said she couldn't walk his dog. But some people are not into pets. I sadly sorry I can't see myself walking a dog because I always say to people, I don't like a pet that's bigger than a goldfish because I don't know what it's thinking. And I've seen so many incidents of people being bitten by their dogs, their cats, their birds, their stuff. So I don't want to be in that position. So I understand where Merla's coming from. I don't know. People might have different opinions. You might have a different opinion hearing me say that. But I think if you there's a difference between a pet lover and someone who is not. I don't think she's not a pet person. I don't think she hates pets. I think she just is not a pet person. She's not someone who's into looking after pets and doing that sort of thing. They seems to be getting along way better. They weren't clashing as much. There wasn't this talk about her high maintenance. Yeah, he kept calling her princess and whatever. And she seems to sort of like it because I think at one time he addressed her as something else, and then she went, "Oh, since when did you start addressing me as that?" And then he went, "Oh, the princess," and then she sort of smiled. So I think they're getting to know each other. I think they're sort of trying to find a happy medium for them, that something that works for them, something that will allow them to see whether this is something they want to work on. And I think their biggest hurdle is going to be the dog. I know we were all saying about the finances, but I think with the finances, Gil can sort of, learn to adapt to that. But I don't think he's going to be very flexible about his dog because he said he got his dog when it was a couple of weeks old. So that was their main issue. Um, they seem to be getting along. Merla got him cookies because apparently he said he likes chocolate chip cookies. And they were having very good conversations. She wasn't sort of as standoffish as she was last week, so I sort of warmed to her a bit. And then from there we go to my, my second favorite couple, Bo and Johnny. For me, Bo and Johnny for me are the Brianna and Vincent of the season, in my opinion, because I think they have a great chance of working. Their only problem is they're two people who are used to functioning in a certain way. They're so structured in how they do their things, how they think. So the challenge is for them to learn to be flexible, to learn to adapt to changes and sort of move on. I love their communication because I think communication has always been one of the issues on Married at First Sight, whereby people are not good at communicating. But I love the fact that Bo and Johnny are quick. If something happens, if someone is not happy, if they find they're still very emotional, they keep quiet about it. And then once they've cooled down, they come back to it, they sit down, they talk about it, they iron it out, and they move on to the next thing. And I love the fact that Bo is becoming more open and more relaxed. Last week she was moaning about how she doesn't like, wearing swimsuits around people and today she just stripped down, got on a paddleboard and off she went. And there was everybody there and I expected her to sort of freak out, but she was fine with it. She went I think it's called paragliding. She went, with Johnny. So she seems to be opening up a lot more. And I hope, if nothing else, I know Johnny said he's normally just turned off by certain things. I hope, if nothing else, he appreciates the effort she's making and he sees how much she really wants this to work. You can tell she's a totally different Beau from the Beau who was saying, I wanted a Rhodes Scholar, I wanted a this, I wanted a. She's totally different. You can see she's smitten with Johnny. She's really hoping this works out and she's really making an effort. And Johnny, on his own as well, is making an effort. I love the fact that his dad now sort of agrees with his decision to go on Married at First Sight, and you could see they're both very happy. I think they're both working on the emotional aspect because you can see Beau is now more touchy feely than she was before, and yet she's always said, I'm not a touchy feely person, and subconsciously you can just see her doing it, which is good. So this episode, they were my favorite to watch. So Johnny and Beau were my favorite to watch. Um, I know Gil and Miller have a lot of drama. I also enjoyed watching them. Brett and Ryan, yes, there's the issues with the politics and stuff, but I still enjoyed watching them. So it was nice to have an episode whereby things were going on, but there wasn't as much drama as the highs and lows of last season. So, um, in my opinion, I know I'm on the fence with Rachel and Jose, but I think the other three, I don't know what's happening with Zach and Michaela, but I think the other three have a very good shot. I know people say, oh, they're not going to work. I think if they put in the effort, I see next week they have a meeting, I think, with Pastor Carl, and I hope Pastor Carl brings his A game and he really, works with them and really mentors them and coaches them and, helps them identify or come up with tools of working on their marriages. Because Pastor Carl is a very big asset in sort of helping Shanice and Jeffrey when they first started. And I hope he's able to do the same for these other couples. Um, it was great to watch, I think. It was great to watch. It was less toxic. I am hoping that whatever the previews were showing, it's just going to be a minor bump because, there was a preview of Michaela and Zach going off. There was a preview of Johnny saying, he's not spending the night. Because I think Beau was saying, she's not taking a shower. And I think there's more to it than what Beau actually. Because if Johnny had listened to what Beau said, there are days where I just don't want to get out of bed. I just don't want to get a bath. I just don't. That sounds more like someone who's depressed than anything else. And I think if he had listened properly to what she was saying and not focused on the fact that she doesn't like to take a shower 3-4 times a day, he might have learned something about his partner. But I'm really looking forward to next week to seeing what happened and seeing, what's the way forward. I hope they don't overplay the drama because I think we're all dramaed out from, Mr. Blessed last season. Anyway, thank you for guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time, guys. Bye.